Hi guys. This video is about different ways to give example and exception. We can use these words in different situations. First part is about words which use when you want to give example. For giving example, these words can be used. For example, for instance, take or consider. By way of illustration, be shown by. This is true of, this was true of. Be a talent/glaring example. Be a good/typical/classical/obvious example. 1. For example, children watch huge number of television. In the United States, for example, many children spend about 8 hours watching television. Getting in your daily exercise doesn't have to be difficult. For example, Jack walks before breakfast. For example is used later on in a sentence, rather than at the beginning. Playing a musical instrument requires skill and practice. Professional musicians, for example, practice up to 6 hours a day. 2. For instance, it is slightly less formal than for example. Our climate is already showing signs of change. Last year, for instance, was one of the hottest summers on record. 3. Particularly, it is used when saying that something is especially true about someone or something. Tourism is very important for the economy, particularly in the north of the country. His work had a big influence on Picasso in particular. 4. Be a good, classical, obvious example. Her case is a classical example of this problem. To give an extreme example, one lady called the police 20 times in a single morning. 5. Be a talent, glaring example. It means very obvious and very bad. His case is a blatant example of the unfairness of the current system. 6. A graphic example. The meaning is vague, clear and full of the unpleasant details. The film is full of graphic examples of corrupt police forces. 7. Be a case in point. It is used when saying that something is a very good and relevant example of the kind of thing that you have just mentioned. Many native English plants and animals are under threat. The red squirrel is a case in point. 8. Take, consider. They are transitive verbs. Used when you are about to talk about a particular situation that you want to show as an example. We need to rethink the way we consume energy. Take, for instance, our approach to transport. 8. Take or consider an example. They are transitive verbs. Take and consider comes at the start of a sentence. 9. Be way of illustration. A formal phrase used when you are going to give a long example that shows what you mean. Revolutions often lead to dictatorships. By the way of illustration, consider the events that followed the French Revolution. 10. Be shown by. Used when giving an example which shows that what are you saying is true. The people who live there are quite rich. This is shown by the size of their houses. 11. This is true of, this was true of. Used when giving an example which shows that what are you saying is true. Second part is about what you say when there are a lot of other examples of something. 1. Such as. Used when giving one or two typical examples of the kind of thing or person that you mean, when there are many other examples. The factory produced electrical goods such as washing machines and cookers. Pay attention that such as does not usually have a comma before, whereas for example and including usually do. 2. Including. It is a preposition and used when you want to give examples of the kinds of thing that something includes. She has many interests, including piano and guitar. 3. To name but a few. It is used after examples of something when saying that there are many more that you could mention. This is a feature of languages such as Arabic, Spanish, and Portuguese, to name but a few. 4. Etc. It is an adverb and used when you want to say that there are many other examples of other things of the same kind. It is best to avoid tea, coffee, alcohol, etc. Part 3. Ways of saying that something or someone is an exception. 1. Except. It is a preposition. It is used when you want to say that a statement does not include a particular person or thing. The office is open every day except Sundays. They won't even be together except weekends. Except and except for mean the same thing. You can use except for and except in at the beginning of a sentence. Otherwise, except does not come at the beginning of a sentence. Except in an emergency, their doors must remain closed. 2. Apart from, aside from. Use when mentioning one or two things that do not fit the main thing that you are saying, especially when they are not very important. Aside from one or two minor errors, this is an excellent piece of research. 3. Excluding, not including. Used when stating that something, especially a total number of or amount, does not include a particular thing or person. Excluding students, the total number of the unemployed rose from 2 million to 2.3 million. 4. With the exception of. Denmark has more wind turbines than any other place in the world, with the exception of California. With the exception of skin cancer, breast cancer is the most common cancer among women. 5. But. Used especially after nothing, no one, any, anyone, anything, all, everything, everyone. There is nothing but trees, for mile after mile. The garment covers everything but the eyes. 6. Other than. It is used in negative sentences. He had no interests other than teaching. No one other than her knew about the plan. Daly has said little about his childhood, other than that it was happy and normal. 7. In a few cases, or, in a small number of cases, in a few cases the information has gone missing from the files. Surgery can only help in a small number of cases. Last part is about words which used about someone or something that is not included. Exception. It can be countable and uncountable noun. The health of most of the patients improved, although there were one or two exceptions. Apart from a few minor exceptions, the two countries' legal systems are very similar. All societies without exception share the same characteristics.